Hey guys, my name's Dee, this is the Heroine's Corner and welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be doing the anti-tbr book tag. So I really enjoy watching this book tag on BookTube because I love just seeing people be like, yeah, this book's popular but I have no interest in reading it at all. So this is just a kind of video for you guys to get to know me a bit more and my reading taste, and it's just a fun video for me to film. Of course, the original book tag was created by Nicole and her books. I'll leave a link down below to her channel and to the original video, but let's just get into the book tag. A popular book everyone loves that you have no interest in reading. A lot of like older fantasy books, so like the Robin Hood, like that whole series I have no interest in reading it, and the Magicians, no interest in reading it. I'll give you a non-fiction and I'll give you a fiction answer. So my non-fiction would be Women Don't Owe You Pretty by Florence Given. I'm pretty sure that's who writes that book. I have no interest in reading that book because I've heard that it's a lot of like black feminist thought that's just in the book, so I'd rather like read the original black feminist theory than read this book. Second book would have to be, what is it called now? The Secret Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. V.E. Schwab. I actually don't mind V.E. Schwab. I really loved Vicious. I still haven't gotten to Vengeful yet, but I really loved Vicious. A Dog Shade of Magic was alright. Didn't carry on with the series. I'm alright with V.E. Schwab. I know a lot of people, there's people that like really love her writing, and then there's people who are more meh about her writing. But when it comes to The Secret Life of Addie LaRue, even though it sounds like a really interesting premise that a girl makes a deal with the devil, I don't feel like it's gonna be my cup of tea. Like this random white girl just waltzing around like Paris, like like I don't know, I just don't feel like it's gonna be my vibe. Classic book or author you don't have an interest in reading. Charles Dickens, I have no interest in reading his books. Like I'll watch the musical versions. I don't know, his writing is so long-winded. Like I had to read A Christmas Carol before for school, and that's a novella and I couldn't even get through that, so I don't know how I'm going through like A Tale of Two Cities or like stuff like that. Question number 3, an author whose books you have no interest in reading. Stephen King and Samantha Shannon. I've heard that Stephen King's books are like another good note. People, they say, oh, the book was horrible, or like I didn't like the book, but the last 10 pages made it. I'm like, are you sure you like the book if you only like 10 pages of a book? Like that doesn't make like any sense at all. So I'm not going to read any Stephen King books. And of course there's some problematic elements to his books like already that's been discussed. And then Samantha Shannon, I have nothing against the author at all, but I just feel like people talk about her books but no one raves about her books. No one like hypes about her books like other people do with like maybe like V. Schwab or like Cassandra Clare. Like no one really hypes about her books that much, so I just have no interest in reading like any of her books really. The next question is a problematic author whose books you have no interest in reading. Jay Kristoff, I do not care that he's coming out with a vampire book this year. I don't care about any of his books really. I did read Illuminate. I did really enjoy Illuminate at the time, but that was again done with Amy Kaufman. But yeah, I have no interest in reading any of his books like at all, especially what I've heard about the Nevernight series and some of the things I write about the Nevernight series. No, we are not. I don't need to read Jay Kristoff. And also you've read a couple of books from and decided their books are not for you. I don't really have a lot of answers to this question, because if I don't like one book from an author, I really don't venture out into their other books. Personally, I don't really give a lot of chances to authors. I'll say Victoria Aveyard, the creator of the Red Queen series. I did read 2 books of that series. I liked the first book. The second book was okay, but I really hate the protagonist, so there's like no point me carrying on with that series. But her writing just seems very average. I don't feel like her writing's anything too special. Maybe that's just because that was her debut series, but yeah, her writing just doesn't seem too special, so I'm not really going to read any of her other works. A genre you have no interest in reading. I am trying to not outright say I'm never gonna read one genre, because you know, if a book's really good, I don't care what genre it's from, like I will just read the book. So I think straight up like new adult romance just isn't for me. I don't know, like I don't want to say that because I really want to read like the Chloe Brown series. So I can't just say like I don't want to read like new adult romance and then like I'm going to read the Chloe Brown series. But it's not a genre that I gravitate towards. Let's just say that. And horror just seems like it's very like white male dominated. Again, I never say never with genres because like especially with a lot more like BIPOC authors writing in those specific genres as well, I do want to give them a try and support the author. So I won't, so like never say never, but the genres that I don't usually gravitate towards would be like new adult romance, horror, suspense, thriller. So the next question is a book you have bought but will never read. I have some books here that I can like show you guys. First book I've got is White Fragility by Robin DiAngelo. I do not even know why I bought this book, but yeah, there's a lot of problematic things just when it comes to this book, and I actually do not want it on my shelves anymore, so I really need to unhold it. The next book I've got is Daisy Jones No. 6 by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I just heard that it's very lackluster. Like it's supposed to be like drugs, like sex, rock and roll, but it never gets to those levels, I've heard. So the cover is so stunning though, so I don't really I don't know if I really want to like unhaul it because the cover is so stunning, but I have no really interest in reading this book. I don't think I'm ever going to read it. There's another book coming out that's like this. I feel like but it's like centered around like a black duo, a black music group, and I feel like I'd rather read that than read this. But I don't want to write off this author because I think she's the one who wrote the seven, oh my god, the seven the Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. She wrote that book and I really want to actually read that book. So it's not really anything personally against the author, but just how this book doesn't really live up to that kind of mania of the 60s. The next book I've got is Aurora Rising by Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. I got this book pretty much when it came out. That's the only reason I have it in hardback, to be honest, because like sadly new releases only come out in hardback these days. But yeah, I love the cover. But I'm not going to really read that book. I don't really want to read any Kristoff books, and I've just heard that the narrative is very young and slightly immature, and I'm not sure if that's going to be the book for me. And there's a lot more of a like sci-fi books that I want to get to. A series you have no interest in reading, or series you have DNF. So that there's a lot of obviously different answers I could say with this. Like the adult fiction answer would be Ali Smith's Quartet, like seasonal quartet. I feel like I would have followed this quartet if I was reading it as the books were coming out, but like I think it's all done now. I think the seasonal quartet is just like all completed, and I don't know if I'm going to have time to just pick it up like anytime soon. So for a series I've DNF'd, it would be Shadow and Bone, and it pains me to say that because I know that the TV, like the Netflix adaptation's coming out, so a lot of people are doing like readathons and read-alongs for like that series. But I read the first book and it was okay, it was 3 stars, and I just don't feel like reading the other like books in the series. I just don't feel like I'm gonna get anything out of it. So yeah, the Shadow and Bone series, which is a shame because I really loved Six of Crows, and I know they're in the same universe, so it would make sense for me to just like read that series and just get over and done with. But I've just heard people saying that I can't even get through the last book. Like they just cannot get through the last book, so I don't know if I'm gonna put myself through that. A new release you have no interest in reading. There's not many books that, especially when it comes to new releases, and because I'm only reading from BIPOC authors this year, is basically like BIPOC new releases that I have no interest in reading, and I don't really like writing off BIPOC books like that. I don't really have an answer to this question, but I would say maybe Concrete Rose by Angie Thomas, just because I haven't read any other books, and to be like quite frank, I don't really have a huge interest in reading Angie Thomas. Yeah, so nothing against the author. I might pick up The Hate You Give in the future, but yeah, as a new release that I'm not interested in, it would have to be Concrete Rose, just because I know that it's a prequel to The Hate You Give, so I can't really read that book. But that is it, guys. That is the end of today's video and the end of this anti-TBR book tag. Please let me know what you guys thought about my answers, if I should give some of these authors a go. Maybe like Samantha Shannon, maybe I should just give her a go next year when I like allow myself to read like white authors. Maybe I should give Samantha Shannon a go, maybe I should give Charles Dickens a go, I don't know. But tell me if you disagree, if you agree with any of my answers. But that's the end of today's video, guys. Remember to like and subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys soon on another video. Bye.